again.
You trying to get everybody drunk, huh?
It's working.
Yeah.
Yo, I bridge the gap for him. I bridge the gap for him. Hands up if you know you bridge the gap for him. I bridge the gap for him. I bridge the gap for him. Hands up if you know I bridge the gap for him.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another episode of Everyone Has a Story. And like I always say, I am so privileged and blessed to be sitting in this seat right now because I'm so able to learn from people's stories. This woman right here always been a stand-up, classy woman ever since middle school. You know, ever since middle school. But I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Please.
All right. Hi, I am Dr. Tia KnightForbes. I am a family NP. I own two businesses. One is a medical practice, primary care, where I service children and adults with various types of services within my scope of practice. And I also own a Skin Essence Medi-Spa, which is an aesthetic business, wellness business. Well, I have various types of services such as skincare treatments, for problem skin or just maintenance. Also IV hydration drips with different customized cocktails for different ailments or concerns that you may have with your health. I also have wellness injections, and I also have a skincare line that I just started and it's out and running, that I use personally on my skin. I'm certified organic. And I also have some vitamins as well, some detox vitamins. So I have a bit of things going on right now that keeps me very busy, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I love what I do, and I'm here in the community ready to service them.
Okay, because you know, everything, you know, a lot of people just see the end results. Let's take it back to the beginning. Because you know, it had to be a spark. Did you vision this when you was younger?
Absolutely not.
What did you vision?
That I would just be working for a company.
Really?
Yeah. I never envisioned being an entrepreneur.
Why did you never vision being an entrepreneur?
I never envisioned it because it was never something that I felt that I could attain. As a child and living in an underserved area, we don't have a lot of resources, so we're not exposed to a lot of different things, a lot of different possibilities out there for us to do. So it was never in my mindset. You know, children have to be exposed to the many different possibilities of things that they can do and explore. And I was not. I was one of those in this community that was not given that type of resource. So I never imagined it.
Wow. And I think it's so important because growing up in our communities, I do feel we need to own more.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and the fact that we wasn't taught it.
No.
Because we didn't see it.
Nope.
You know, we basically just taught to work, go to school,
work.
You know?
We lived here, but we did not own our community.
Right.
We still don't own our community. We have a lot of different other cultures that own things and run it. They run our community. And we are just here as consumers pretty much. We buy everything from them. They get all the benefits. And we need to get out of that mindset. And if we do like Tulsa, you know, Juneteenth is coming up, so I'm going to talk about Tulsa.
Right, please do.
If we had that mindset like Tulsa, and we work with one another, we can blossom. We could be forging a whole new way of life for ourselves and our communities. But we have to get out of our own way and stop being selfish and think about me, and think about the big picture as a community.
So before you started your business stuff, did you take any of that stuff into account?
Absolutely. One thing that I thought about was you have to be that person that you want to see. So you have to sometimes take that first step. Like even with my children, you know, I can talk to them all day about doing the right thing, but I also have to show them.
Right.
So you have to lead the life that you want your children to follow behind.
You definitely have to do that.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Okay, so was there a specific incident when, I don't know, depending on high school, you know, when you went to college, that you knew, like, you know, you wanted to make a difference in the community?
Let's see. So
time just pretty much.
It's a let's see. So when I was in high school, I was not thinking that at all. Again, even when you're in school, school's supposed to really teach you different various things about the next step forward in your life. And unfortunately, in that school system, they didn't give you those tools at all. And so if you're not getting it from school, you're not getting it from home, you're not going to get it anywhere unless throughout your journey you cross paths with someone. And I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that it's a divine journey for everyone. And when the time is right, the time is right. And I worked and went to school at the same time after high school, and I met various different people, older women and men who had different types of careers, who really opened and broadened my horizon about all the different possibilities of what I can do and do for my community.
So the difference between Tia in high school and Tia in college, first of all, what college you went to?
I have 4 different degrees. I went to 4 different schools. I did start at Farmingdale State. I received my associates. Then I went to Stony Brook, had my bachelor's. LIU CW Post Masters, and then I went to Walden University and received my doctorate.
What's the difference between you as a high schooler and you as a college?
It's a whole new Tia.
Yeah? The biggest difference?
My biggest difference is my focus. When I was in high school, I was not very focused. I was having fun. I was young. Just thought about, just getting through. I was really not thinking about forward, looking forward and what's best for me and what I should do and direction wise. When I was in high school, just getting through, getting out. Like, I'm graduated, I'm out.
Go on.
But now, I'm always looking about forward. What's next? What steps do I need to take to get to that point or that place, that goal that I wish to have?
Okay. How old was you, or where was you at in life when you had your first child?
I was 19 when I had my first. Yep.
Okay.
I was 19.
And what's his or her name?
Amira.
Amira.
Yes.
Okay. How you doing, man? I'll shout the kid. It is what it is.
I know.
Yeah. But see, that's why you put the work in so she could be able to explore what she's exploring.
I know.
So you have 4 degrees and you had a kid. How you balance that?
I had my first degree. I had just 1. By the time I had my doctoral, I had 3 children. Yeah, it wasn't easy. Definitely was not easy. But I always say, if you really want something, you're going to go after it.
Yeah.
No matter what the circumstance, no matter what is going on, you're going to go for it. That's it.
Plain and simple.
That's it.
Yeah. That's why I tell people, there's no excuses. When you say you want something, you can't put any excuses in it.
Nope.
Because you don't really want it.
That's right.
You don't really want it.
And I'm not saying it's going to be easy.
Right.
But if you want it, it's yours.
And you're a wife also.
And I'm a wife.
And you're a black woman.
And I'm a black woman. Proud black woman at that.
That's a lot of balance.
Love my melanin.
That's a lot of balance.
It's a lot of balance.
What was the toughest part?
There's nothing one in particular. It's everything.
Right.
It really is. Everything is just, one thing I had to tell myself is just take some me time, no matter what, because everything else, children aren't going anywhere, my husband's there, business is not going anywhere, so I have to balance that. It's not going to be, I can't, give more than one to the other. I have to balance it somehow. So with doing that, you're pulled in so many different directions. So it's very important to take self-time, whether you just go sit at a park in the car, or just walk on the boardwalk, or just sit in your car, drink some drink, or just read a book, something that keeps you make you relax and just no one's talking to you, it's just you. You and God. That's it.
What is your me time?
My me time is in the evening. I take no calls from anybody. I don't care if it's family or whomever. Every day after my work day is over and my children are taken care of, I wind down, take my shower, get myself together, do my skin regimen, and I'm just relaxing. Don't bother me.
That's a beautiful thing, because I tell people that's what you really need your time, because how could you really be good for other people when you can't be good for your own self?
You can absolutely not. You cannot. You can't. You have to take care of yourself first.
But people think they're missing out if they do that, though.
Okay, and then you cannot pour from an empty cup. So what are you giving anyone? You have to always refill and rejuvenate yourself, recharge in order to continue to go. Once the battery is dead, it's dead. So watch yourself.
Listen, I ain't say it. But I'm thinking it. Wow. So then, so I, woo. After you graduate, your first job, what was your first job?
My first job, I was after I graduated college after I graduated college, I was a registered nurse, and I went to North Shore, then it was called North Shore Manhasset Hospital in Manhasset, off of Community Drive. I worked in the acute care unit. Well, I worked in different units there for about 10 years.
Okay.
With Northwell. And while I was going to work and I was going to school to become the practitioner at the same time. I had 7 days a week. I had no time off. So from Monday through Sunday.
How does your husband feel about that?
I'm sure it was trying for him.
Right.
I'm sure, but he stuck it out with me. You know, he was my cheerleader. He was my advocate. You know, that was something passionate that I wanted to do. So he was there.
That's great, right there.
Absolutely.
That's great.
You need that.
You do need that.
You know.
You really do.
You don't need no extra aggravating factors when you're trying to do something that's already stressful for you. You know.
And on society, us as men, we expect women to do that, but on our end, you know what I mean. So I give your husband a lot of respect. You know what I mean? Definitely. Because he actually changed the narrative with that one.
Yes.
Shout out, husband, for real.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now, after you 10 years in now, when did you start actually get to the point when you start working on your own? Like you was like, you know what, I could do my own thing.
I was working in Nassau at a clinic as a practitioner, and
this is after North Shore.
After North Shore.
Okay.
Yep. I had graduated school, and so I'm practicing now as a medical practitioner, and I was the only NP there, and there were a lot of veteran physicians there, and I really I was like, they took me under their wing like if I was their daughter, and they really liked me. They loved my way, how I focused in my train of thought, and they really felt like, you know, you have what it takes.
Right. And
there was one particular doctor, Dr. Ernest Samella. He's a pediatrician, and I always would, you know, ask him questions, confide in him about things, about, you know, some things, thoughts that I had in regards to private practice, and he really, you know, solidified and said, you know, Tia, you will be awesome. He said, I see you, I see what you do, I see how you are. He said, you would be awesome. Wow. He said, don't keep thinking about it. He said, do it. So
you got to work.
The process.
But then you got to work.
I went to work. He was like, I see him as a father figure. He's like, you know, he's old. He had his private practice before he worked to the clinic, and then he retired out of that. And he just went to the part-time at the clinic. So he gave me a lot of tidbits about how to manage a practice, because it's a lot. It's not for the faint of heart. Absolutely not. So you really have to want it. Bottom line, you have to want it.
A lot of people, they look at the results and they just look at owning something, but they really don't take what it really takes to go into it. Because it's, like I said, it's not for everybody. It's really not.
It isn't. No matter how good you are, still running a business is not for everyone. Yeah. Because you can be good at what you do. Yes. But you running the business is just not your forte. You're like, I can't deal with this. And I get it. And I understand it totally.
Right, for real.
Because, you know, some days are harder than others. Yes. But, you know, you just got to I just have to regroup. And one day at a time. You have another day.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. You have to look at it. When you think of stuff as a whole, you have to break it down and literally step by step.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because you skip one step, you're 100 steps ahead, and that one step will come back to bite you back in the booty.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't really take that into account.
People try to rush into doing things.
Yes.
My advice to anyone who's trying to go into entrepreneurship, business wise, or anything really, take your time, do your research,
Mm-hmm.
do your due diligence in everything that you want to do and accomplish, because it can be very detrimental to you, because there's certain steps that you miss, and you don't want to do that. You know, all my stuff is legal. From A to Z, and I made sure that if I didn't know something, I called the right people and double checked and triple checked. Are you sure?
Yes. Yes.
Before I put this money out, or if I sign this document, you know, you really have to. You just can't get so excited because you're getting in the business that you forget about the important things. So that's one of my big advices, is to really do your due diligence and vetting everything.
Right. When was your first, like, what was when you opened your business, what was your first one that you opened?
So my first one was the primary medical care. It is called, so the name of it is abbreviated, it's called ITTAV, which stands for It Takes a Village. So It Takes a Village Medical Care, yes.
Wow.
I love the African idiom. It stands for a collective work of people within the community to make something happen. And I feel that I'm just one part of this community that can make something great happen within it. So that's why I stuck with that name. It would not leave me, and I named my primary medical care after it.
And you know what? It's similar to Bridging the Gaps. That's what Bridging the Gaps is.
Just one part?
That's all it is. That's literally all it is.
Bringing it together.
Wow, yo.
Yep.
And what year was that?
I started my business in 2018.
2018.
Yep. So I started it at my home. You know, I was just seeing family and friends. You know, people. You know, not strangers yet, because it's in my home.
Right.
Until I found an area, and I finally got this area beginning of this year. I signed the lease again.
And you know what? Speaking of the area, and when you gave me the address,
right,
and I'm looking at it and say Albany Ave, I'm like, I know it's not where the old blocks. I'm saying this to myself.
Right.
So as I'm pulling up, I'm like, oh my God, this is.
It's a landmark. It's a community landmark of negatives, but now it's a positive.
And I love what you're doing, because you bring in something that nobody else is willing to bring. You know, people don't know you willing to do this.
Right.
Like, you literally going out your way to make this.
Stepping out on faith. I'm telling you, stepping out on faith. Because I could easily just stay within an organization and make a very, very nice salary for the rest of my life to retirement. But I'm willing to step out because I know what I have is what a lot of people need. And I want to reach those within a community that can benefit off of my expertise and my skills.
Because this is my thing. You are in a pretty much important landmark, especially in the Annville history. I wonder why people don't know more about it.
I don't know. I've been doing a lot of marketing, probably not enough. Obviously not enough. I think that sometimes people, maybe they don't know that it's me that's in this spot, or they just don't know that this spot really exists. Because of the marketing is just not enough. I'm not sure. Or maybe some people are just leery about new things. You know, that's always one of the cases.
I think
you know?
That's probably one of the top cases.
Right. And I want them to know I'm here. I'm your sister. You know, I'm a part of your culture. You know, if anyone knows you, it's going to be someone like me. So I'm able to approach you in a manner and understand you and help you with me to come to a place where we can help you get to a good health place for yourself.
And we talk about mind, body, spirit.
Mind, body, and spirit.
Facials,
everything.
All that. All that good stuff.
I got a lot of stuff here.
Right. All that good stuff. And you know what? Because, and I admire people because I'm not going to say it took me to move away to see certain type of things. It was just something that I just wanted to do anyway.
Right.
But I was able to do it. But being away and looking on the outside, looking in, seeing people like you who's doing their thing, do everything in the same place they grew up in.
Yep.
People don't know how challenging that is.
Very.
And that's why I love creating this platform and having people like you tell it, because you need to get more recognition for it.
I guess.
People have no idea how hard it is.
They don't know how hard
People
it is.
easy be like, no, just move away, this, that, and the third.
Yep.
It's now,
very
of course,
hard.
I didn't. For me, I did it because, like I said, I wanted to do. I ain't look at it was the easy way. But some people do it. You know. But you stay in the midst through having kids, being married, being a black, proud black woman. You know what I mean? Creating your own business, sis.
Yep.
You know, and being able to balance all of it. How do you do it?
I take one day at a time. That's all I can say. One day at a time. There is really no formula, because everyone's lives are different. So I can't just tell you what I do and it works for someone else. All I can tell you is take one day at a time, stay focused, take some me time, and keep God at the center of your core.
Let me ask you something. I'm gonna get into the community. Why do you think we don't support each other enough? Your personal feelings. I don't want.
Right.
Listen, this is not about what other people think. It is just a personal feelings, how you see things.
Well, being that I'm a huge advocate of supporting Black businesses, I'm huge. I had to kind of step back and see why a lot of others do not support. And I figured that, I'm not sure if it is the truth, but I figured that some people I think we have a certain mindset that you see certain cultures in certain areas of life. And if you start to see someone like yourself in that area, that you don't trust them right away, because that's not what you're used to. You're not used to seeing a Black woman or, Black male in this particular setting. You're used to seeing white men.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Right.
And you would you would come to them in a heartbeat, because in your mind, they know it. They know everything. They're going to fix you, because that's what you were taught. But things are changing. There's a lot of Black men, a lot of Black women, and other cultures who are coming into medicine, and they would be much better for you for one reason alone: they understand your culture. And that was part of my dissertation. And if anybody want to read my dissertation, it is on Google search. But it definitely was a part of my dissertation about understanding cultural competence. It's very important, because I just can't go to anyone and I know they don't understand what I'm saying. You have to know the cultural norms.
Yes.
Because every culture has a culture within a culture.
There you go.
And you have to really understand that. And I've worked and experienced all different types of cultures, so I know how to approach them. I know what I need to say. I'm going to say what I got to say, but how to say it and how to get it across to them where they're understanding the importance of whatever information that you're trying to get to them.
I think a lot of people get it mixed up, especially when they're doing stuff for the community. They make it about them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And I had to learn through my teaching of just doing my research on greatness. If you're gonna be great, you can't make it about you.
You can't make it about you. You're right.
Because it's too much.
You can't.
It's too much. If you make it about you, you're gonna kill yourself.
You are.
You don't think you are, but you will kill yourself. You're putting so much on yourself.
You can't do it.
And you said an important part when you was like, you just a small part.
Just a small part.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But probably will look at it. A lot of people will look at it. Tia, she thinks she this, that, and third.
Some people probably do say that. You know what?
They say it.
I'm sure. Me, I don't focus on any negative connotation of whatever anybody says about me or anything negative about my culture, period. Because all I'm trying to do is move forward and give something positive to my culture, present positivity within my culture. If someone doesn't like it, there's nothing I can do about that. But I'm going to keep going forward, no matter what they say.
Yeah, and the ones that don't like it ain't doing anything for the community anyway. How crazy is that? At least don't like it because you're critiquing me and you want me to do more because you're doing more.
Right.
At least be on it like that.
Right. But it doesn't happen. It is disheartening, to say the very least. But like I said, I will continue, like I do with my children, I will keep showing them the way. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, I'm going to continue to walk in positivity and light and bring what I have to bring. That's it.
And please shout out your kids real fast. Shout out your kids.
My oldest daughter, Amira, she's away right now with her friends. My middle daughter, Miss Sydney Joy, that's a songbird in the community. Everybody knows her. Oh, yeah.
Oh, she blow like that?
She be rolling like that. That's her thing.
Nice. Wow.
And your brother knows.
Yeah. Right.
And my baby boy, my only boy, Mr. Drew, that's my love, my heartbeat. I love them. Those are my three.
What do you think is the toughest thing for a young lady nowadays?
Knowing her self-worth.
Why do you say that?
I think a lot of us, just by the visuals alone that I see, I know when I was growing up, we were always outside playing.
Right.
There was no electronics back then anyway. No. And we were always outside playing. We all had our little, disagreements, but we played right back again. But we played, I think it's okay?
Yeah, keep on.
Okay.
No worry,
so we played.
We go right.
We played. We used to walk the streets with our friends. We would go walking all over the place and never have to worry about being kidnapped, being raped, or anything like that.
How crazy is that?
It just was never in our minds. Like, Mama would just be back before the lights. Street lights come on. That was the biggest thing. Like, oh, I gotta get home.
For real.
Street lights are coming home. I'm coming on. So now it's like I don't even want my children to leave the front of the yard. Because a lot of the visuals that's on social media have people had their mind demented. I see the girls, they want to walk like if they're going out to prostitute, pretty much. And I don't understand why they feel a need to show their bodies the way that they do. Is that
on
all
every
you have
occasion?
On every occasion, is that all you have to offer? Because guess what? As you age,
right,
it won't look like that no more. Then what will you have? I was never brought up in a household where I had to. Man. My mother and my stepfather, my stepfather taught me well about my history and how to present myself as a young lady and have self-respect always. And that's what I teach my children. Oh, so, okay, so makes sense. That's why you carried yourself the way you did. Because it's funny when you're talking about you wasn't as focused or this, that, and third. But I'm like, when you go back then, you was ahead of the time. I was just very...
You was always like that.
Because my stepfather taught me as a young child about my Black history, where I came from, my self-worth. And once you implant that into a child, it will carry through. They may make mistakes, they may do things here and there, but they will never forget those important factors that the foundation that you gave them.
And let me just let y'all know, Tia was on a lot of guys' hit lists. I'm gonna let in high school, Tia was on a lot of guys' hit lists.
And what happened?
Swing for the fence and miss.
Wasn't ever gonna happen. Nope.
But now it makes sense though. You know what I mean? And let me say this too also. Like, even seeing what you do, I'm not surprised with what you're doing. It's more of me figuring out what you was going to do. If you was doing something else, I'd be surprised. If you wasn't doing what you're doing, then I would be surprised. Now, this is just me.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I appreciate it.
Right.
I appreciate it because we can't say that about a lot of people.
Wow, you're right.
You know,
I take that.
And it goes back to the programming. You know what I mean? And the fact that, we worked our tails off to change the narrative. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Me on the outside looking in, even leaving New York to come back, I realized I see a lot of people doing their thing here. And I just had this discussion with somebody last night. But I don't see too many people working together.
Right.
And a lot of people's doing their thing.
It would be much more powerful if people work together. I mean it. One person cannot do everything. If you have multiple hands, that makes the work light. One mind versus two minds.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Let's see. I learned that through sports. How did you learn that?
Experience. Experience, trial and error. Trial and error. And I had a lot of trials and I had a lot of errors.
Right.
And the things about trials and errors, you learn from them. You allow them to teach you. You don't take it and you fall apart because something happened that you didn't like. You get up, you brush yourself off, and you say, I know what to do now. Or I know not what to do. And you stick to that. Don't go back and do it again and make an even more mess of yourself.
Yeah, because at that point it's not a mistake.
It's a choice.
That's a choice.
Absolutely. It's a choice.
See, look, that's why I love having these conversations. Like, look, me and Tia haven't spoke in a while.
Yeah, oh gosh. Since like high school,
No.
I saw you at your brother's birthday, yeah.
But even though that was just
real quick, hey, how you doing? Yeah.
But it really wasn't like actually kicking it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why I love, about doing stuff like this, because you never know where the conversation's gonna go. When it's genuine. Because I'm not stepping into something if it's not genuine.
Authentic.
I'm a little skeptical about where the conversation will go. Because at the end of the day, this is about helping people.
That's right.
So what's next for Tia?
Well, I've always wanted to, because I was working so hard to get my businesses up and working. My next step is to have an official mentorship program within the community for the young people and adults, because adults need mentorship as well. Although I'm an adult and I've done things, I still look to people who are older than me to continue to give me some guidance and understanding about things that I just don't understand. So that's my next step, and I want to tag team with my brother, Dr. Aaron Johnson.
Shout out, A.
I know I briefly went to him and talked to him about it a little bit, but I really didn't go into detail. But I definitely want someone like him, because he's an educator.
Oh my God.
He's passionate, and I know he would do well with what I have in mind. And
I can picture that. When you said that, I could picture y'all two already. I can picture y'all two.
Work with the men and the young boys. Because I'm not a man, I don't know all of their trials and what they go against. And I'll work with the women. And of course, I probably would need more, but just to start would be him and I, and then whomever else we can, get involved. And I think it would be great, because these young people that I see around this community, they need guidance, resources, and understanding. And once you implant that into their mind, it will take them to higher heights.
Yes, it will. But the planning is the hard part, because you got to dig. It's a lot of digging.
It's a lot.
Because it's a lot of layers.
It's a lot of layers.
And that goes back in history. A lot of programming. So let me ask you this, even going about that, because I feel like no matter when you're doing anything, the hardest thing to do is to start.
Yep.
What would you say to somebody about starting? You know what I mean? And I want you to keep it as general as possible, because I don't want people to get overwhelmed about from you. Because that's what I'm starting to learn how to do. You gotta so as general as possible, if you could.
So
what would be a starting?
So I would say, basically, you write the letter and make it plain. Write out all your thoughts, what you want to happen, how you want it to happen, when you want it to happen. And then you're going to have subsections, goals and time frames, and you check off as you go. And then once all the checks are made, then you're going to turn around and like, it's done.
I hope y'all got a note. Y'all better have wrote that down. For real, y'all better have wrote that down. Because that's powerful.
Stay self-motivated. There are times where you're going to get very frustrated. Believe me. That's the time when you take that me time. Walk off, go somewhere, breathe, relax, and start again the next day.
Hitting that reset button, huh?
Restart button.
I gotta tell people, listen, It sucks. I was just talking to somebody about it this the other day, even with a cell phone. It's like, do you know some people wake up every day on 50%? Now they got to go through their day and they got to find a charge. They got to stop what they're doing just to find a charge.
You got that right. That's right, Russ. That's right.
And people is just like that. You know what I mean? So
they run like that.
And I don't know how they do it.
You can't. You're going to keep running out of steam. You're not going to be effective in whatever it is that you need to do. So say if you have a day where it's going to require your full attention, your full energy, but you're only running on 50%, you're not going to give it what it needs.
You can't. You don't have it.
You
don't have it to give.
You don't have it. You don't have it. So you never know what your day is going to bring. So you always make sure you get a good night's sleep. I ain't lying.
Right.
My bedtime at 9 o'clock. I'm telling you the truth. 9 p.m. I ain't answering no phone. I ain't doing nothing because I never know what the day is going to bring and what I have to be ready, energized and ready.
But see, now you got other entrepreneurs that talk about only get 3 hours of sleep or boom, boom, boom.
I don't know how you're going to do that. I don't know how you're going to pull it off. I'm telling you now, stop rushing. That's all I can tell you. Stop rushing. Take your time. Get a good night's sleep. Eat healthy. Exercise so that your brain can really function and think, process everything thoroughly through. Stop being in a race. It's a marathon.
Yes.
It's not a race.
Yes. It's definitely a marathon. Because that's what I always say. We're dealing in the microwave world, dealing with a crock pot God.
Yep. And we weren't brought up like that. We
wasn't.
So I'm trying to adjust to this different life because I'm like, what is this? Where are we living at today?
But you know what's crazy?
You know?
I don't mind it from the younger kids.
But
people our age,
be like, what's wrong with you? You did grow up. I don't know.
Like,
I don't know, Russ.
When did that turn happen? You know?
I don't know.
And you know what? Before I used to kill myself thinking about that. Like, what happened?
What happened?
You know what I mean? But then I just realized some people just
gave up.
Yes.
They gave up, Russ.
Yes, they did.
They gave up.
And they just start settling.
Yep.
And then them same people that's trying to act like these young kids, and they don't know them young kids is looking at them wild crazy.
Looking right at them. And that should give you even more of a self-motivation. Like, you know what? These children are watching me.
They're watching.
And I do that on daily because I know my children, my own children are watching me.
They're watching.
And others. Because I love any type of child. And I want to make sure I make a good impression with any child that comes across my path. Because anything that you say to a child, you do in front of a child can impact them either positive or negative for the rest of their life.
And there's no in between.
No
it's
in between.
It's going to be either one.
Nope.
I need to be careful.
Be
at the end of the day, whether we recognize it or not, we are examples.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And that's why it goes back to what you're talking about. Don't rush. And that's why I teach my son.
That's
you know
right.
I mean?
Take your time.
If you prepare yourself, you wouldn't have to rush.
That's
you
right.
got way more time than you think.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And I think people just want it
fast. I want it here. I want it now. That's microwave lifestyle.
And people don't understand the thing about this. They keep on looking at our counterparts, the other people. They are very prepared.
Yep. Very.
No matter what you say about them.
And don't compare yourself to other people.
Right.
You don't know what they did to get to where they are. So don't compare yourself to other people. Focus on what you need to do. Okay? So you want your business or whatever it is that you're doing to be long-standing. Focus on what you need to do and take your time.
That's called branding.
That's called branding.
That's how you brand
That's
yourself.
one of my brand names of my skin line. It's called Aminata. And Aminata means trustworthy. So that's the name of my brand of my skincare line.
Look at that.
And it's wonderful. It's all certified organic. And I use it every day. My skin be popping.
So I just want you to break down to the people. Because people be like, you know what? Yeah, she ain't doing nothing. She just, you know what I mean? Yeah, she talking this, that, and third. I want you to tell them what you could bring to the community.
So, what I could bring to the community is two different folds. The first fold is for primary medical care for health for the community. A lot of our community, either they don't go for yearly physicals, so they really don't know what ailments that may be in their body until it's too late. And then now they have an issue, now they have cancer, now they had a stroke because they had high blood pressure and cholesterol, and they have diabetes and all these things because they were not getting yearly screenings. So that's something that I can bring to you as far as doing yearly screenings, giving you a lot of education about your health on a cultural competent manner way, because I know the cultural norms, I know our diet as a culture, I know how we do things, how we party and barbecue and all that stuff, so I will be able to give you an understanding on how you can still enjoy things but in moderation. And if you do have any of those comorbidities like hypertension, diabetes, and cholesterol, whatever, I can show you another way to live healthy. I'm here, I'm available, I'm ready to utilize my skills and get this community on an up and up. I don't want to see people walking around looking sick. I want us to look the way we're supposed to look, healthy, happy, moving forward in life, and pass those behaviors, changed behaviors, to the next generation, and so on and so forth.
Cause and
the skin. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Cause I'm gonna get to the skin, but it made me think about something one time, and I was thinking about us being as Black people and our ancestors through slavery, how they was the reason why we athletic the way we are,
the way we ate.
And I was like, why is it obesity in the hood?
It's our diets, it's our habits. When we go back, if we want to go back to Africa versus North America, and when we were enslaved and brought over here, we had a certain diet when we were in Africa. Our ancestors had a certain diet, and that's why they were healthy, they were vibrant, they were warriors, they looked good. And then when we were transported over to North America, we were given a diet that we were not accustomed to. So it did some work on our metabolism, on our immunity system, and it just broke down a lot of different things, and we started getting obese and sick. Because what you eat, what you put inside, is what's going to come out on the outside. Okay, so when I can tell when I look at someone's skin how their diet is.
Really?
Absolutely. I can tell. When I look at their skin, I can tell if it's just acne issues or if it's just, you just have a unhealthy lifestyle. And then I always, when I'm talking to people, I'm going to educate. I'm big on education. Whether you're in here for skincare service and not for a medical service, I may go into the eating habit, because I can work on your face on the exterior, but if you don't fix what's going on in the interior, you're going to constantly have issues. So you want to work on the inside as well as the outside, and you want to be beautified through and through.
And
mind,
that's subliminal
body,
with everything.
and spirit.
Right. That's with everything.
Yep.
Yo, you a beast too.
I'm just me.
No.
That's all I see. I'm just me. I'm utilizing what God has given me, and I felt I had to stop stepping back into the shadow and start just going out and just doing what He's given me, utilizing my purpose, and stop just being afraid and just going forward. Yeah,
because I tried to shake it too. God kept on. Just kept on tapping.
That's
right.
Russ,
you go do it regardless.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, you really want to do that? Okay.
You're gonna keep on until you like, you know what? Let me just go.
And that's what I did, because I felt like I was depriving people, because I looked at myself as a behind the scenes person.
That's how I felt too. I'm back behind the scene. I help y'all out. Yeah.
Right.
But I don't want to be in it.
Right.
That was never my thing, and I'm still trying to get used to it. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable, but I just go before I say, God, help me, because you know how I am.
Right.
Put whatever you need me to say it. Or do.
Because just think about even me being a star basketball player, I'm still not used to attention, because I don't really like
the attention.
I don't like the attention.
You just want to play basketball.
That's all.
Exactly. That's all. You just want to do what you got to do, and that's it. That's all. We were never like attention seekers. When we were in school, we were not like that. We just did what we did, and that was it.
Like I actually did my best trying to fall back, but you can't do it.
If God has ordained you for something, He's ordained you for something. I had to learn that. And with the skincare service, I do a lot of aesthetic services such as microneedling, facials, hydrofacials. If someone wants Botox or dermal fillers.
You do that too?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I
Wow.
do wellness injections. I do laser treatments. An IV hydration treatment. So the IV hydration is huge. Would be huge for the community. So what that is it's a different type of customized cocktails that I infuse into an IV bag, and it has multiple minerals and vitamins that are essential for your health. Because we walk around here, most of us are vitamin deficient.
Yes.
And that's why we're always sluggish and tired, got multiple headaches, got these acne and all these things because the inside is not functioning up to its fullest potential. And we can take over-the-counter vitamins, but unfortunately, you're not getting 100%. You get about 20% because mostly it's absorbed through the GI tract. So with the IV, you're getting 100% of the vitamins. So I like to give myself at least IV hydration like once a month, just so I can restore whatever it is that I've worked myself almost tired doing. I get those boosters for myself. Yeah, so that's another way of living a healthy lifestyle, is being sufficient in your vitamins and the minerals in your body, and also with meals, with what you're eating, and then once you work on that inside, and then you can start to work on the outside.
So you do all that, and you willing to work with people.
Yeah, I'm a health coach. I also do health coaching.
Because even when you talking about you said it's affordable, but I believe
I have my prices very affordable because I could really be charging a lot of what I do, a lot of higher prices. My husband tells me about it all the time, like, Tia, really? I just feel, I want it to be accessible to everyone, because I know, everyone doesn't have the means to pay those high prices, even though that's the cost.
That's the cost.
I wanted to make it to the point where it's accessible, where I can still survive, I guess, so to say. But I have it, because all the people, all those stars, people you see, the actors and actresses and Manhattan people, wherever, they all get this stuff.
Yes,
Why do you think they look so good?
Yes, they do.
They ain't wake up like that.
They definitely didn't wake up like that.
They go get those services.
Yes, they do. They sure do. They sure do. Because I look at it like this anyway. Now, the majority maybe that can't afford it, but a lot of people,
they can if they want to. I also have payment plans. And a lot of places don't have that, but I have payment plans. So if there's a service that you want and it's out of your reach at that moment, what you could do is put a down payment and then pay as you go until it's paid up. Once that bill is paid, then you can schedule that appointment for whatever it is that you paid for. So I have that option as well. I'm trying to make it to where people can get what they need.
Listen, she's trying to work with y'all, but y'all have to work with her too.
Right.
Y'all can't allow her to do all the work.
Right. Yep. I'm trying. I can give, but so much.
Right.
You guys got to work together, and trust me, you will not be disappointed in my services, what I have to offer. People that have come already, they always call me back and say how they enjoyed, or they'll message me and say, thank you so much, I really enjoyed the session, or my child really enjoyed it. And it really makes me feel good to have that type of feedback. Even if it's something that you feel that wasn't good, I want that feedback. So then I know whatever it was, I can try to, fix it. I'm not to the point where I'm stuck on, this is what I do and I'm not going to make no changes and that's that. But I'm the type of person, I'm always open for any suggestions. I'm a lifetime learner. I never close my mind to anything. And that's pretty much it. I'm here.
Listen, you're already seeing she put the work in. You know what I mean? The community should support something like this, because she's bringing something that nobody else is bringing. First of all, she's bringing something that nobody else would even thought about. And she's in the smack
of North
Amityville. Come on now. Well, like,
Yep.
what more does she have to do to prove to y'all? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's important that the community do support this, because this is something that can really bring a whole different dynamic.
Right.
And we don't have to call it the hood anymore.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because
We
that's
can
the
change
narrative
that
that we need to change. We need to change that
Exactly.
narrative.
Need to change it.
We need to do, because as soon as you hear hood or whatever, it automatically puts you in a certain mind frame.
That's right. It does. It does. Like I said prior, I said we need to get into the mindset of Tulsa. Being as one.
I don't think
as
people
one.
know about. Tell people a little bit about Tulsa. The reason why you saying that.
And Tulsa is just one of the many communities that our ancestors brought together and built up with their own money, with their own working skills. Back then, I believe it was 1919. I'm not sure of the date, but back then, you know, everything was segregated, and a lot of white or Caucasian, I should say, people wouldn't allow the blacks to live in their neighborhoods or to work for them doing anything, certain people. So these couple of group of people, they got their own community started where they built businesses, different businesses. And when I say it was booming, why? Because they brought from one another, they supported one another, they hired one another, so the money just circulated. And when your money circulates, it's never going out, it stays in.
Stays there.
So all it does is grow. And their community was booming so much that Caucasians got jealous. Because they were now riding these fancy cars. They had hospitals, they had grocery stores, they had automobile shops, they had movie theaters, all types of things. And you know, they tried to find a way to just go in there and destroy it, and they did. They destroyed it. But we just have to think about the mindset of what our ancestors had to do that. I'm sure it was not easy.
No.
It was not easy, but they worked as a collective.
Yes, they did.
If we can do the same thing in every community, as work as a collective and build it up, let our money continue to circulate. The Chinese do it all the time. Their money, they buy from one another. Their money circulates before it goes out anywhere. It may circulate about 7 to 8 times before it goes
out
anywhere. So they're keeping all that cash flow within their community. And we can do the same thing.
Listen, I'm lost for words, because it's so true. And I know when people hear people like you and I talking, you know, they be selective. Oh, they don't know what we going through or whatever the case is. The fact of the matter is this: we don't have to know exactly what you're going through.
Nope.
But we all in this together.
That's right. That's
you know,
right.
And to me, that's the bottom line.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And in order to be, you got to be raised by a village. Everybody have to play their part.
It takes a village.
It takes a village.
It takes a village.
And people don't understand how much it takes off of you to be able to lean on somebody. It's so much easier.
It's so much easier. So much easier.
And you get more.
And you get more in return. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Listen, that's why I will continue to stress. I love doing this because I got the best seat in the house. This is constant counseling. I love hearing people's story, because what she was talking about is so informative to me. You know, like I said, I knew her
way back back in school days.
You know what I mean? But talking to her now is like I'm just pretty much meeting her.
Wow.
And that's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing about this. But
growth.
please support Tia. Y'all call her doctor. I'ma call her Tia. Mama call her Tia. I'ma call her Tia.
That's cool. That's fine with me.
But please support her. Please let them know how you could be reached.
So the address to the office is 455 Albany Avenue, Unit C, in North Amityville, New York, 11701. The number is 631-532-5093. And if we are out of the office, you can leave a message. We will get back to you the next day.
And what about your social media? You have
Social media, yes. I have Facebook pages, one for the primary medical care, ITTAKESAVILLAGE, NP Family Health, and then I have one for the Skin Essence Medi Spa on Facebook and also Instagram. And it's at instagrammedispa.com. Listen, I can't keep everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I don't remember everything.
So that's it.
But I believe that's it. You can find me.
Like I said, another episode. Tia, real sweetie. Yo, you did the damn thing. You know I got nothing but love and admiration in for you. I know you gonna do some big things, and you best believe BDG is gonna help you on out.
All right, bridging the gaps.
Yes, we in the building. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Everyone Has a Story, created by Bridging the Gaps, brought to you by We Got You. Is there anything else you would like to say to the people before we head on out of here?
Thank you for your time and attention, and we're one, and we just need to work as one. Love you. Peace. Thank you.
Your village. Everybody be blessed.
I bridge the gap for him. I bridge the gap for him. Hands up if you know you bridge the gap for him. I bridge the gap for him. I bridge the gap for him. Hands up if you know I bridge the gap for him.